Hello everybody and welcome back to the K-Maps channel. This is Kay Kritiques, a segment where we discuss all things South African television. So if that's the type of content that you enjoy, please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time a new video uploads. Today we are reviewing Adulting Season 1 Episode 8 titled Full Circle. So let's kick it off with the biggest drama of the episode, which is Eric. Eric really did stress us out in the previous episode. I was so scared. I thought surely they are not going to kill off Eric. But we see Eric, he's still lying. On the street, he tries calling Bonga. Bonga doesn't answer because he is still mad at Eric because of their fight, but also because him and Kanyezi are supposed to be on their way to support Kanyezi being announced as the head of tax. This man on the side of the road decides to help Eric and rushes him to the hospital. When he gets there, he's taken to theater. Everybody is stressed. Bonga calls his grandmother, calls Natasha's mother to bring Uncumisa. It's a whole mess. Everybody's stressed. Is he gonna make it? That is the biggest question that everybody has, is Eric going to make it? Fortunately, he does. And when he wakes up, he now tells the story of what happened. It's like, I froze on the spot. I saw a toy in the car that looked exactly like the toy that was in Natasha's car, and I froze and the guy shot me. So now Bonga is pissed because he's like, I thought you said you're leaving this life behind and that you're turning over a new leaf. Eric is like, I'm not going to die in jail. Obviously, he had to raise the money in order to pay off the dirty cop. But now the thing is, he's putting himself in more danger of staying in this life. Because if he has another warrant out, the dirty cop is going to blackmail him again. That if you don't want to get arrested, then you better give me. Now it's probably going to be 200,000 rand. And he's never ever going to escape the cycle. And Bonga calls him out on it. When are you ever going to leave this life that you live? Eric is like, my life is perfect. Me and my guys, we hijacked 10 cars in 3 days. And in my head, I'm like, why is he proud of that? Is he not trying to leave this life? So why is he proud that, me and my guys, we're doing so well. What happened today was just a mistake, but it's never going to happen again. That's basically how he was phrasing it, that this was a one-time thing. I'm never ever going to freeze on the spot again. They go back and forth, and Eric is like, I'm just so glad that you didn't tell Ncumisa or you didn't tell anybody about this. Monga's like, too late. I actually told everybody that you are in hospital and we didn't know if you're going to make it. I thought you would want your child to come and see you in the hospital. Ncumisa comes from the Eastern Cape and asks Eric, like, why did you do this? I thought you said you're turning over a new leaf. Basically, everybody just wants to know, Eric, you said you're changing your ways, so why are you doing this? He's like, my child will never understand. Ncumisa's like, so there isn't a proper reason. You just wanted to break my heart. And my heart just broke in that moment. Like, if you're not going to do it for yourself, you're not going to do it for your grandmother, you didn't do it for Natasha, you're not doing it for your daughter, who are you going to change your life for? Like, what is it going to take to make you actually leave this life of crime? In the end, Natasha's mother actually agrees for Eric to be able to see Ncumisa for the holidays, school holidays. That was actually great news, because what's the point of keeping Ncumisa away from Eric? Anyways, so now because of this incident, he's now has another case of attempted hijacking on him, and he wants to go to court. The lawyer advises him to plead guilty and then he'll get a lesser sentence. But if he pleads that he's innocent, they'll have to fight it in court and he's going to get 10 years minimum. So that's what he's racked about. Like, should I plead guilty? He's basically going through the motions of deciding what to do and what will be best, not only for him, but his family. I can't wait to see how that plays out. That's if they actually show us. They might do a time jump for season 2. We don't know, but I'm actually excited to see Eric turn over a new leaf. He wasn't being held accountable for his actions, and now that he's going to jail, maybe he'll realize that, you know what, this is not worth it. Being away from my family, being away from my child viewing me as this awful person, putting myself in danger of never ever seeing my family again. It's not worth the amount of money that they give me. Then we have Vuyani. He's still working at the shop, and apparently it's not Thulasini, but it is Africa Rise, or maybe it's a shop that sells an assortment of clothes. So they sell clothes from different brands, because in the previous episode I saw a sign that says Thulasini, but this time the shopping bag said Africa Rise. So I'm not really sure now what shop he's working at. But anyways, and then Beth walks in with Andile. We saw Andile when they went to that function a few episodes. I think it was in episode 3. That was when Vuyani actually got jealous and realized that Andile could walk in and charm the MEC. But he's actually cool with it. He did lose his cool a bit, had to gather himself really quickly, and then he realized, you know what, Beth is not worth it. And Beth was surely trying to make him jealous. Like, ooh, look at how young he is and he's so handsome. He can look good in any clothes. Oh, just close the door because you're going to be here the whole day shopping. And I think Vuyani in that moment realized, you know what? She may have all this money and be spoiling him and doing whatever, but the abuse, it's not worth it. He's about to go to work the following day, and his dad comes in the room, and they have this heart-to-heart where the father's like, I was raised by my father's values, my father's principles. He raised me in the way he knew, and I've been trying to raise you in the same way that my father raised me. I was supposed to raise you in my own way, with my principles and my values. So if you want to pursue this passion of yours of fashion, then go ahead, son. You have my go ahead. You have my support. It was such a sweet moment just for the dad to be like, do what you love, and I'm 100% behind you. Pursue your passion. In that moment, he finally had his father's validation. What does Vuyani do? Calls the woman from the previous episode. They get it on, and I was like, okay, so old habits die hard. But I'm hoping that Vuyani makes smarter decisions this time. I hope that he takes that money and uses it to pursue his passion, which is fashion. I hope that he actually starts a company using the money that he gets from this woman, and that he makes something of himself. They get it on. The lady's like, oh, I wish I could take you to Dubai. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind going with you to Dubai. Then she's like, don't you have work? And he's like, work can wait. I'm like, Vuyani, you're falling into old habits. You don't want to lose this job. You still want to have something to fall back on. Save that money that you get from the job being a salesperson, and then use it to build something for yourself. But anyways, he says that he has a new agreement with this new sugar mama of his. She doesn't care who he sleeps with, what he does in his spare time, as long as she doesn't find out about it. So he was happy about that. I mean, it's a far cry from what was happening with Beth, where Beth wanted exclusivity. This new lady's just like, you know what? Do whatever you want to do. I'll do whatever I want to do. But when we're together, we don't discuss or even hint at the fact that there's other people outside of what we're doing. That was Viyani. I'm actually hoping that he makes smarter decisions this time. Moving right along to Mpho. I would just like to say that I retract my statements from episode 7's review. I got the biggest shock of my life when we actually discovered that Zitsulele did indeed cheat with the personal trainer. Oh my gosh, I retract my statements. Paul was right in his suspicions. Zitsulele did cheat and she did admit it. So we are now at the aftermath of what happened. The family members have left. Mpho is like, why did you do that? Why did you embarrass me in front of our families? And I'm like, but you're the one who was trying to embarrass her. Like, I saw how that guy was looking at you. So don't even try and deny the fact that you slept with him. And Zitsulele is like, who said I'm denying? I didn't deny that I cheated. And he's like, I saw you with the personal trainer. Saw the way he looked at you. Then she was like, but you don't look at me like that. You don't look at me like that anymore. And that is exactly why I decided to open my legs and cheat. I was like, oop, not Z2. So Z2 literally did an Uno reverse and embarrassed Mpho in front of the family members, knowing that she's cheating. So they have a back and forth, and she's like, you know what? I want a divorce, and it's not up for discussion. And that was the biggest wake-up call for Mpho. He thought he could go around cheating and doing all this stuff, and there's a lot of other things that are going on in the relationship. In the previous episodes, I will link it in the card up above, I did discuss this, that carrying his weight in the household, him parenting his own kids, is him being a house husband. And I think Zitsu had gotten to a point where she's just tired of Mpho. She's tired of being the only one pulling the weight in the relationship, in the household. And she did express that. So now Mpho came back begging, like, please, I love you and I want to work on us. I don't want to divorce. I want us to stay together. I want us to make it work. We can just move on from this whole cheating thing. And Zitsulele is like, I want you to tell me everything from A to Z. Want you to tell me every single thing that you've ever done, and then we can maybe move on from there. Mpho apparently tells her about all the side chicks. Then Zitsulele asks, why did you do what you did? Why did you cheat on me, Mpho? And Mpho's answer, I was actually starting to dislike him less, because I thought, okay, from this point onwards, we can move on, and maybe they can try and fix things and build a new relationship with love and trust and honesty. But then Mpho had to just go and make me dislike him again, because Zitsulele is asking, why did you cheat on me? Like, what happened? And he's like, our sex life wasn't the same. And Zitsulele is like, that is a diplomatic answer. I need you to tell me the truth right now. If you want us to make this relationship work, we need to be able to be honest with each other in this moment. So why did you cheat on me? Paul says, it's because you weren't giving me blowjobs. I'm like, what the Really? You weren't getting blowjobs? That's why you cheated? In that moment, I was like, Mpho, come on. Zitsulele is fuming at this point, because she's like, you did all this. You jeopardized our marriage. You almost broke up our family because of that. I look after the kids. I clean up after you. I cook. I do everything. And then Mpho's like, I thought you enjoyed all of that. Who enjoys doing house chores every day and picking up after a household of people on their own? It's not like Zitsulele is a housewife and she's a stay-at-home mom. No, she also goes to work. But when she comes back, she still has to pick up after the kids, do the homeworks, and then clean up after the house and cook on top of that. Whereas Mpho, he goes and hangs out no Bonga, who are single people. You're the only one with the house that you have to look after every single day. And he's like, oh, I thought you enjoyed doing that. Like, who enjoys picking up after people 24/7 with no rest? And then she's like, no. It's because I know that if I don't do it, then who's gonna do it? Because you'd never do anything in this house. You're barely ever here. You're always hanging out with your friends. And it's like, you think I don't want to do all those things? You think I don't want to go out with friends? You think I don't want to just get a break and do nothing and sit and do nothing? But I know that if I don't do these things, nobody's going to do them, because you don't do anything in this house. So if we're going to start afresh, you're going to have to pull your weight. You're going to have to attend meetings. You're going to have to pay attention to the kids' schoolwork. You're going to have to do homeworks with them. You're going to have to spend time with them while I rest. You're going to have to clean. You're going to have to pull your weight. If you don't do these things, or you don't agree to these things, I'm leaving. And Mpho agrees, and now they're making it work. Tries to parent the kids, cleans up in the house. But then we see when he's hanging out with his friends, he's like, I'm bored. How can you be bored of doing things in your household? As much as it might be boring to you, but it's something that you have to do. And I'm thinking, okay, if he doesn't want to do it, and he sees that Zitsulele also is stressed and always tired from doing it, why not hire a nanny, a housekeeper, to make it easier for both of them? They're in a happy space, and I do hope it lasts, and that Mpho doesn't go back to his old ways. And now, the most stressful person on the show right now, Bonga. So Nkanyezi and Bonga are about to go to this event. When he gets the call from Eric, he rushes obviously to the hospital to see what's going on, and he misses the event. Nkanyezi calls and is like, the event is almost over. Where are you? You said you're going to come and meet me here. He drops the call. stay with Eric. Even after everybody leaves, he's like, I'm staying here. I don't really feel like going home at this moment. Could have made sure, okay, Eric is fine. His grandmother was there. Vuyani was there. Mpho was there. You could have said, I have to go to an event. I'll come back and check on you another day. Now you could have gone and also supported your partner at the biggest moment. And when he gets home, comes back, Kanyisi asks, how is Eric? Oh, Eric is gonna be fine. He's gonna live. How did he get shot? He was hijacking a car, he froze, and he got shot. That ticks her off. She's now telling up all these negative things. He asks like, what's going on at the event? As she's busy explaining what happened, he falls asleep. She's like, okay, fine. As soon as he wakes up, the fight happens. It's about the friends again. She's like, he's not gonna change. As long as you guys keep bailing him out and coddling him, he's never gonna change. They're fighting about friends again. Oh, he's gonna change. I saw it in his eyes, Bonga. You only saw what you wanted to see. This person is not gonna change. They're never gonna change. It's like, you ditched me to go to your friend who got shot while they were doing their criminal activities. And it's a thing again of, Bonga, when are you gonna realize that these people are holding you back? And it's this whole fight again. And honestly, I hear both points of view. Like, these people have been friends and they support each other and their relationship works. Bonga doesn't have a problem with his friendships. Daniels is the one who has a problem with the friendships. So then now they go on, and she's like, you missed an opportunity because I told you that the head of real estate is going to be there and you would have had the biggest opportunity of a lifetime. They go back and forth, and Bonga's like, I'm never ever gonna leave my friends. Rather I leave you and you can go and find a man who has all these bougie friends and find a man who matches up to your standards. In my head, I'm like, you don't have to leave your friends, but I feel like there have to be certain boundaries that are set. The amount of time you spend with the friends. In that moment, you could have said, okay, Eric, you can't keep calling me to bail you out if you're not going to change your life. We can still be friends. I love you and I'm always going to be there for you. But in those moments, you can't call me. He could have left the hospital and said, gents, Anyesi has an important event and she's the most important thing to me right now. I'll see you guys later, and go and support his woman. Like, you can't say you're planning on marrying this woman, but then at the same time, you're not prioritizing her. You're not showing her that you're in this to win it. So then they break up and Ganye's brother comes angry as hell. Why did you hurt my sister? And then he's like, your sister, I didn't hurt your sister. It's like, oh, so she hurt herself. Well, guess what? You're fired. You're out of here. I told you not to mix business with pleasure and you did that. Well, guess what? You don't want to be controlled, because Bonga was basically saying your sister's controlling. She wants to control everything I do, and now I cannot be controlled. The brother was like, oh, so you don't like being controlled? Get your things and go. Imagine losing $1 million deal just because you broke up with his sister. So anyways, he goes home. He finds his father there. So we saw in episode 2 that the father was a deadbeat dad and that he left them when they were young. And now that obviously Bonga has fixed up the house and is giving them money and he's well off, the father wants to come back as always. Because one thing about a deadbeat, they're going to come back when everything is right. Bonga gets angry. He gets into an argument with his father. And this verified my suspicions. I feel like Bonga is that character that I've been able to get a gauge on. I did say this, that Bonga has abandonment issues from when his father left, so he's very afraid of getting into a committed relationship because he's afraid that the woman is going to leave him the same way the father left him. And that's exactly what he says, verbatim. Episode 2, I did discuss this, so you can go back and watch episode 2 because I literally said all of this. I did have a bit more hypotheses that I did put out there. Could be the reason why Bonga is such a player, why he doesn't want to get into like a committed relationship. And he is like, I'm scared. I'm scared of marrying someone. I'm scared of getting into a relationship because I feel like they are going to leave me the same way that you left Mom and the same way that you left us. I need you to leave this house. You're just here to mooch off of us. He goes to his mom and he's like, Mom, why did you take him back? He doesn't love you. He's just here to milk you for everything that you have now that he sees that we're doing well without him. The man is like, what do you know about love? Your problem is that you want to control everything and everybody around you. But you cannot control me. I'm a grown woman. Your father said he loves me and I still love him. So we're back together. And I think that's also what happened with Nkanyezi. She thought she was trying to control him. As much as she was telling him like, change your life and leave your friends, she was saying it with the best of intentions. And I did say this, that they're both strong-headed. But I think Bonga took it a bit too far when he was like, it's like she has a DICK. Like, you would swear that she's a man, because she always has to have the last word. I say something, she has to say something back. So that means that Bonga wants to be the one to say what goes, what he says goes, and nobody should ever refute him. But in the end, he falls for another woman who's played by Buhle Samuels. We still don't know who she is. We just saw them just staring at each other, giving off that vibe that they want each other. So we're gonna see what happens with that. So yeah, guys, that was Adulting Season 1, and I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'm just gonna start with the positives. What did I think of Adulting? A very good show. It was fresh and new. It kept us on our toes. You wanted to know what happens in the following episode. It always left you wanting more. They tackled many different issues. It wasn't just the usual or cliche topics that are usually tackled in like TV shows. You had the single dad who's battling with custody of his child. On this other end, you have the successful man who's afraid of relationships. He has abandonment issues. On the other hand, you had one person who has a sugar mama, doesn't have a job, lounging and just skeezing through life. And then you have family man who's married with 2 kids, but he's also battling his own battles. So they were all fighting different battles. And then you could also see the friendship, the brotherhood, the loyalty and trust and respect among them. I'm so glad that the ending of episode 7 wasn't the season finale, where we're all wondering, is Eric dead? No, they ended it with as much drama that you want to know what happens. Eric with the court case, Vuyani with the sugar mama and his job and the relationship with his father, Mpho with his marriage. I mean, they're in a good place now, but is that gonna last? How is the relationship gonna be moving forward? And then you have Bonga falling for a new woman. How is he gonna be different in this relationship than he was with his relationship with Nkanyezi? I like that they established the storyline so nicely. They were able to let us see and root for the friendship. They made us see what makes the friendship work. They made us see the brotherhood, the love that they have for each other. The shots, the music, everything was on point. I love the series and I hope that they keep the same momentum. I really, really hope it doesn't fall off in season 2. Producers have done a nice job so far. The actors as well. The acting was on point. I would say that Mpho and Zitsulele's acting was a bit sketchy here and there, but overall, everything was perfect. The reason why I gave it an 8 out of 10, those 2 missing points. First of all, it was too short. 8 episodes was too short. I was still enjoying it. I feel like maybe 10 episodes would have been better. And I do feel like the characters regressed a bit. Mpho was the only one with any character development so far. I mean, all of them did develop, and I just wish that they would expand as well on their individual lives, like Eric's life, Bonga's life, Mpho's life, and Vuyani's life. We only see snippets of them. I just want to see them outside of the friendships. As much as they are friends, we want to see more of the dynamics of Vuyani's relationship, maybe with his parents, Vuyani's relationship with this new sugar mama. We only saw Mpho's marriage from Mpho's point of view. And as much as the show is about them, you also want to be able to look at it objectively. Because I was on Zitsulele's side the whole time. Meanwhile, Zitsulele was also cheating. So I would have wanted to see a bit more of that, where they expand on the individual lives outside of their friendship. But overall, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. My predictions for season 2, I feel like Bonga's gonna have the same story. Most probably gonna have the same issue of friends. When the drama starts to happen with the friendships that Bonga keeps, Vuyani, I want him to make smarter decisions. I'm really hoping that they make him more than just a sugar baby. I feel like there's more to him that meets the eye, and I would like for us to see that in season 2. I feel like Mpho is going to cheat again. I don't know. I just have this feeling that this thing he's doing is just to make sure that Zitsulele doesn't leave him. But what I also hope that they tackle in season 2 is Bonga's abandonment issues, Eric's temper, and I want Mpho and Zitsulele to go to couples therapy or even individual therapy, or any one of these guys to go to therapy. And I feel like that will also break the stigma that, first of all, that black people don't go to therapy, and second of all, that black men need to just be strong and that therapy is for wusses. Men's mental health is usually overlooked. I want to see Vuyani's journey to success. I want him to see him succeed in fashion. I want these guys to make it, man. Like, I want to see more of the friendship. Maybe we can get a backstory of them being in varsity, or maybe a background of how they became friends in the first place. But yeah, guys, that is my review and those are my thoughts and opinions. Please do share yours in the comment section down below. Make sure that you like this video if you made it to the end. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one.